today I just wanted to do a bit of a video on sort of the difference between our press-on nails and some nails that you get in the shop. I've got an example. This is shop brought, and just quality wise, straight off the bat, I can feel that's so much thinner, and like you can see as I press it, it's just flattening out. If you look on, I can flatten that down to that, and that would be so easy to just see. You can bend that right over, like that literally bends. Oh sorry, see that literally bends. That is so easy to bend. It's so thin. You can't really reuse them, because as soon as you knock them, that's literally going to bend. It's going to ruin the nail, it's going to ruin the shape in the nail. They're just so thin, and they're just not quality. Look, even the smaller one, which you'd expect less material, is still just bending. It's just so, like, I can guarantee, even with a smaller one, which you'd expect to be a bit tougher, you could literally just, look, literally squashed, just completely squashed. And that's why they're not very good. Now, I actually, resting in my pantry, went straight on my door frame earlier, and with a lot of force, to the point where it hurt my natural nail bed, because it was pushing against my fingernail. I like banged it like this, but there is no damage to the nail whatsoever, no bend, nothing like that, because these nails are all reinforced, and I will show you the difference. Now, I've got a few different ones here that have been made. So, for example, these are, oops, sorry. So, oh, I've done it again. So these ones here are sort of, this is encased, but it's only encased thin, so it's not got a lot of reinforcement, so there is a bit of bend there. But even if you were to, like, you couldn't, like, I can't just do what I did with the other one and fold it in half. It won't let me. In the same this way, it's just impossible. Even with a thin reinforcement, it's a lot more tougher than the thin ones, than those shop bought ones that I brought. Now, this one has been encased. Unfortunately, it went wrong, so it doesn't matter. But that is completely, like, I'm really trying to force on that. Sorry, bear it. So I'm really trying to put pressure on that, and that is just, that's, again, that isn't the most reinforced. When we encase the nails with builder gel, these will be a lot more reinforced than that, and that, there's no way you're banging that off something and causing a bend or break or anything like that. Now, these ones are simply layered. They're not highly reinforced, they're obviously reinforced. We make a point of using base gel in several layers to create a softer reinforcement, but it still reinforces. It's still not just this thin plastic, and you can see that straight off the bat by just looking at the thinness of them both. Like, this is just wafer thin plastic. It's literally plastic. But as well as that, the nails that we actually use, the extensions, are acrylic resin. So the acrylic resin is a lot more sturdier in itself than assumingly these thin plastics, which is typical of mass-produced nails. So this is an acrylic, but you can see this has got a bit more bend. But again, I can't just, like I did with the other one, I literally can't with one hand. I'd have to like double hand to bend that. So knocking that against the wall isn't going to just bend and cause a fold in the nail. It's just not going to happen. And the same here. It's got a bit of flex, but again, it's impossible one-handed. So knocking that is not going to cause a bend and a fold like these cheap ones, which before I started my own press-ons and joined the business creating press-ons, I used to buy shop brought a hell of a lot. They would not last nowhere near as long because they're just ill-fitting. They're more ill-fitting around the edges here, so they don't fit on the nail bed as well. Genuinely, they're even down the sides, they don't have the curves that match up, the C curves that match up as well. There's a lot of factors that go into the mass produce that make them a hell of a lot cheaper, and the fact that they're cheaper means that they're just not as good as the press-ons like these. And we make sure when we make the nails, we make sure that they are filed, they are prepped. There's none of the, it's not going to chip. I've had some chip before. I've had a lot of solid colours where it's the actual plastic of the nail that is that colour, and there's no reinforcement, and the colour just scratches. Like the gel polish, you can't scratch. It doesn't scratch down and cause scratch marks in the actual gel polish. There's a lot of these cheap nails where if you were to get a pin or something, it would leave a visible scratch mark, whereas gel doesn't do that. So even for the appearance of the nails and the damage to the appearance, these are a lot more better. I run, because I run a rescue as well, and with the mass-produced nails, because I'm digging and doing this, that and the other, they would bend a lot. They would cause like bend marks where you could see the plastic had clearly had a strain to it. They would often bend completely out of shape as well, like I'd have bent nails. There would be visible scuffs, and a lot of the time they were that ill-fitting. I remember a lot where they didn't fit around the nail bed properly, and this it would just cause lift and it would just ping off. I've never had any of these problems since moving to handmade press-ons, from myself, from colleagues, or from anyone else in the press-on business. I've never had any of those problems. So there you go, that's just a little something about a little comparison for you to see that the quality, you are paying for a much better quality when you buy press-ons. So see you again soon.